More alarming news out of France, where a group of 93 former police officers are now warning that areas of the country have become, quote, lost territory thanks to illegal immigration and rampant criminality. In an open letter to President Macron, the ex-cops assert that authorities are being undermined by violent minorities, and that entire regions are now no-go zones where the laws of the Republic don't apply. Open attacks on police stations by hordes of armed and hooded individuals are spreading across our nation with impunity, states the letter, adding that France has, quote, fragmented into enclaves. Violence against an individual spreads even into the privacy of family residences, and the only response to these crimes against law enforcement consists of compassionate incantations which have no effect on the daily life of the French people. In France, cops are routinely attacked by gangs of roaming migrant mobs whenever they try to enforce the law in unruly areas. Figures for the last year show that nearly 9,000 French police officers were injured and 11 were killed in 2020. After firefighters entered a sensitive urban zone in Brest on Thursday night, they were attacked by a mob of 40 youths. But police who arrived on the scene to protect them were ordered not to make arrests due to Ramadan and the Israel-Palestine conflict. That's lawlessness. That's a minority population being given carte blanche to commit crimes. And whenever a criminal suspect is killed in a confrontation with authorities, migrant populations routinely respond by rioting for days or weeks on end. The emergency also requires controlling illegal immigration, states the letter, which plagues many neighbourhoods and contributes to fueling disorder and delinquency. The letter demands that police be equipped materially, morally and legally to enable them to carry out their duties without having to risk their lives on every street corner. The former officers assert that it's time to, quote, reclaim our country and demand that France's shared values are respected. They're calling for a surge, which mirrors the rhetoric espoused by French intellectual Eric Zemmour, who called for the military to reconquer such areas. France must not fall into chaos, the letter concludes. We hope that our call for a national surge will be heard by public authorities, and we join our voices to those of our military comrades who spoke first. Fears over the collapse of law and order in France are shared by the majority of the French public. A poll last month found that a whopping 86% agreed that some cities had areas where French law does not apply, while 73% said that French society was disintegrating. The warning from police follows two separate letters that were signed off on by retired military generals and active duty French military. They warned that the country was headed towards civil war thanks to the twin threat of the anti-racism movement, which seeks to disintegrate France's national identity via colonialism, guilt trips and statue toppling, aligned with the Islamist takeover of areas surrounding major cities thanks to the abject failure of integration and multiculturalism. The original letter warned about the threat posed by entities that, quote, despise our country, its traditions, its culture, and want to see it dissolve by tearing away at its past and its history. The French political establishment has obviously reacted to all three letters by scoffing and dismissing them as the work of right-wing extremists. But 60% of military and police would support populist Marine Le Pen in a hypothetical presidential runoff against Macron. So I guess 60% of France's security apparatus must all be right-wing extremists. A 2019 peer-reviewed study by Danish academics found that despite its constant invocation, diversity actually isn't a strength. Seeking to answer whether continued immigration and corresponding growing ethnic diversity was having a positive impact on community cohesion, the study found the opposite to be the case. And there's no more perfect illustration of that than modern-day France.